One of the things that we wanted to talk to you about today was around college golf, and this was something that came up in our podcast with Laura Landon Holmes last week, who took the move from Ireland to the United States, where she's now based as a US Kids Tour director and coach at the Michelle Holmes School of Golf. But when we've connected on social media, and we've learned a little bit about your journey just before setting up this podcast today. So we thought it was a really, really good opportunity for us to share the journey of somebody who's lived and breathed college golf, learn a little bit more about your experience as a junior golfer and your experience in the United States, and then hopefully talk about your sort of current aspirations within the golfing world as well. So for those that don't know you, if you could just give us an introduction, and we'll go from there.
Right, well, it's a lovely intro. It's quite hard to follow, but anyway, I'll try my best. My name's Harry Butler. I'm from Essex. I play at Chigwell Golf Club and Brocket Hall Golf Club, which is in Hertfordshire. I've been playing golf since I was 4 years old, and I'm currently 23. So that's all there is to know, really.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us, Harry. People don't actually know the backstory, but we have actually been trying to speak to you for a long time now. So it's great that we've actually made this connection, and we're proceeding with this today. You've just touched on the fact that you were a junior golfer and you started at 4 years of age. Do you want to talk us through a little bit how that all began, what your journey was, kind of, through any tours, competitions that you were doing into your teens, and then where you went with your college golf applications and how that all came about?
Yeah, so I started golf really young. Well, basically, I've got an older brother who's 28, so he's about 5 years older than me. And neither of my parents played golf. It was just one day my granddad took my brother to the driving range. He loved it, started going every Saturday. Obviously, I came along when I got to 4 years old, did the same thing with me. And it's just all kicked off from there. I started going every Saturday with both of them, my brother and my granddad. And we still go sometimes on the Saturdays together. My brother doesn't play as much golf anymore. Just fell out of love with it when he got to age 16, 17 or so, which is a bit of a shame. He still plays, still a good golfer, but
it's still nice to have that in the family, though, that family connection with your granddad and your brother, and just to kind of kick back on a Saturday and go back up the range.
Exactly, and my granddad doesn't even play golf. He just loves taking us, which is really sweet.
Yeah, that's lovely.
But yeah, so then when I was about 10 years old, 10, 11 years old, I joined a golf club and actually started playing golf properly. I started playing just competitions at the golf club, just getting my eye in type of thing. And then obviously I was absolutely loving it. It got to the point I played a lot of football when I was younger as well. So I was on a Sunday, I'm playing for my team, Sunday league team, and then we'd go and play golf after. So I'd be absolutely shattered in the evening. I got up to school in the morning as well, so that wasn't easy. But yeah, playing just competitions at the golf club, and then as I was loving it so much, started entering like little junior opens around Essex. Was doing okay in them. I wasn't amazing when I was a little junior, from like 11 until maybe 15 or something. I wasn't amazing, but I just played so much. I just started getting a bit better every year type of thing. Then I started entering the Essex tournaments, and then just gradually got bigger and bigger until then I won a tournament called the Faldo series, like the regional. And that's how I got like my world ranking, and then started getting into like all the bigger events, British Amateur and all that type of stuff.
At what point did you realise, it's quite interesting that we did a Q&A with Alison Nicholas, who's a former Solheim Cup captain a few months ago, and she was somebody that just immediately hit the ground running when she started and actually experienced success quite early. At what point with yourself did you feel, actually, I'm quite good at this? And what was the mentality between playing in competitions to actually putting yourself in contention at an event such as the Faldo series?
Yeah, it's quite a good question. I've never really thought about what age did I start thinking I was actually not bad at golf, but it was probably when I got to about 15 years old. That's when I thought, yeah, I want to try and do something in this. Obviously, I was enjoying my golf a lot, so that's all I really wanted to do. So I when I tried to take it a lot more seriously. I already took it serious, but that extra step.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's sent myself off to boarding school. I didn't get kicked out, I promise. Went to boarding school just to pretty much play golf as much as I could, miles away, just focusing on my golf. And that kind of set me up to go to college, being at boarding school, being away from home and everything like that, being away from home for a few months and stuff. So it's got me ready. So instead of me just going straight out to America, like being a bit blindsided, being away from home, I probably would have been a bit homesick and stuff like that. But it was quite a good transition.
Yeah, it sounds like a good transition. How was that taken by your parents? I mean, obviously they were supportive. Did mum kind of miss you, and how
no,
involved?
No, we don't want to be talking about that. My mum was in tears when I was leaving. But no, they supported me. They knew that's what I wanted to do, so they just kind of pushed me in the right direction.
Yeah.
My mum was the same, and I moved an hour up the road, so it's it's pretty normal. And how did the opportunity to move to college come about? Was it something that you'd learned about early on, or when you were in boarding school? At what point did that conversation start?
Well, my brother, his plan was to go to America. And so that's how I probably first learned about it, because he was doing it when I was about 13, when he was 18. So I started to learn about that. And then as I was getting like 13 to 14, 15, 16, so I see some of my friends going out to America and all this, and see on their social medias how much they're loving it, all the pictures, all the golf courses they're playing, and that type of thing. So that's how it all came about, really.
Fantastic. And in terms of once you've got to that point, how did it come about with you going to the college of choice when you first moved there? Did you have other options on the table?
Yeah, I did. So it was a tough decision, really. I had quite a few unis looking. They weren't all the best ones. Like I said, I wasn't the best junior golfer. I wasn't the best. It was when I got to uni, I worked really hard, but I went through an agency called Pro Dream USA.
Okay.
And you go up to Scotland, they take a video of you and you write down all your achievements and all that type of thing, like a golfing CV as you would.
Yeah.
They put that all online for colleges to see. And I had quite a few, but I narrowed it down to 2 or 3. And it was like I could go to like a mediocre Division 1 school, or there was a couple of mediocre Division 2 ones. And I thought, I want to go out there and play golf. I don't want to go out there and just sit on the sidelines.
Sure.
I'm going out there to compete.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because Laura actually mentioned the same thing.
Yeah.
If she was going to do it, she was going to do it properly, and she wanted to be playing every week. And she kind of said that she's going out there and she's putting everything into it, basically. So it's interesting that you have those options in front of you, but you actually push yourself that little bit further and think, no, actually, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do it properly. So.
Yeah, the last thing I want to be doing is seeing my friends go into all these tournaments and stuff, and I'm just sat in my dorm room not being able to on these amazing trips. So I took the decision to go to maybe the not as good university. I don't like saying that, but maybe for golfing wise, it might not be. But I think it was definitely the right decision, just because I needed to get that. Get it under my belt, playing all the tournaments and stuff, and I get the experience.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like I did the right thing.
Fantastic. And in terms of when you got there, then what were your aspirations at that point as a golfer?
So obviously, I wanted my whole aim is like I want to be professional. I want to like take it as far as I can go. I want to be on the European Tour, PGA Tour, but I knew at the time I wasn't good enough, so I'm just trying to get in the team, play as well as I can, win tournaments, that type of thing. Because, as I said, I didn't go to the best university at the start, but when they were describing to me how I could make the America story happen, they're telling me, if you're doing well after 2 years, like you can transfer and stuff like that. So all I'm thinking about is playing well, so I can get myself to like a really good golfing union, really play the best courses in America. Like tournaments on the best courses is fantastic. I loved it. And even when I was at my first union, we were still playing amazing courses. We were playing Kiowa Island and places like that. That's probably that's my favourite course in America. Yeah, the ocean course. Oh, I loved it so much.